Where you ladies headed?
23 Park Street, please. We're on Broadway.
You're in a cash cab!
We interrupt our normal TV program to broadcast this special announcement in our nation's wetlands. Here's our on-the-spot reporter, Kyle Overton. Kyle, are you there?
Thanks, Caroline. I'm here deep within one of our nation's most treasured resources, the Florida Everglades. Are you aware that the water levels in this protected wetland area have dropped by over 6 inches in the last 6 months? This may not seem like a lot of water, but put into perspective, this would be equivalent to fill up Panthers Stadium thousands of times. We asked local and government officials why this drop in water levels might be happening, and they had no answer. However, I did ask some local residents for their opinions on what was the cause of this mysterious occurrence. Their responses were, well, mixed. I'm here with Mabel Cornflower, a waitress at the local diner. Mabel, what are your thoughts on this mysterious happening?
I think it must be the aliens, because about 10 years ago, I was abducted by aliens. Hush, boy! And so it must be the aliens. That's what I think. What?
Can I play Nintendo?
I have now ventured deep into the deepest, darkest parts of the Everglades to meet up with a man named Eustace Clementine in his cabin. Eustace, what are your thoughts on this mysterious happening?
Me and my dog Bo think it was Al-Qaeda.
This reporter has discovered that a huge evil conglomerate is the source of this tragedy, here and also in 4 other delicate wetlands located around our nation. The culprit, Metrolina Nuclear Novelties Incorporated. As you can see from this map, MNN Inc. has factories located here in the Everglades, Mississippi Delta, Oklahoma's riparian wetlands, western riparian wetlands, and northern forested wetlands. Is it just a coincidence that these sensitive five wetland areas are all experiencing the same water level losses? I think not. The wetlands of effect are mostly just riverine wetlands, but still, all types have been at least damaged. There are 5 types of wetlands: marine, estuarine, riverine, lacustrine, and palustrine. What makes these different types of wetlands are if they are based on rivers or lakes, or are freshwater or saltwater. We all know there are many plants that are found in places like rivers and wetlands. Many of these plants are aquatic, like lily pads, but a large number of them are herbaceous. Some of the plants are found atop the water on the shore, but most of them are all in the tape grass on dry land. Some of the common plants found in river and wetland areas are water pennyworts, marsh hibiscus, and sago pondweed. Sadly, most of this plant life is suffering because of the water loss. Many of the plants have their roots dangling in the air or in dry, arid land. You may think the plant life is just made out of cattails, but it's also home to some rare plants, such as the many rare species of orchids. If these plants die out for the animals, the loss of the bottom of the food chain or even extinction will work its way up. Animal life is very lush in wetlands and rivers. There are many species of birds that live in wetlands and rivers. Some birds prefer to stay all year long in these types of places instead of migrating like most birds. Many animals live in rivers and wetlands, such as liqui and flamingos. Arthropods are small life forms that are found in places such as these in the very important part of the food chain. Not only the common wildlife is being affected, but also the rare wildlife like the Carophium volutator, which is a relative to the shrimp. If If we don't try to save these animals, they will all be close or soon to extinction. And another thing wetlands provide.
Kyle, I hate to interrupt, but you have to see this.
What?
Come on!
Caroline, can you and the research staff look closely at this animal to ascertain the species?
Okay, Kyle, we'll get right back to you once we determine the type of this mysterious animal.
Here you see the loss of water has also had a great effect on the animals. This is a dying swamp dog who cannot adapt to the drought of the water supply. I'm here just outside the heavily fortified fence surrounding MNN. As you can see, there's a mysterious substance leaching out into the riverbed which will eventually be from wetland. Tanner Wetland. You see, wetlands have a short layer of peat that is keeping the water from seeping into the ground. The amount of water that gets through peat is called Darcy's Law. Darcy's Law theorizes that hydraulic conductivity multiplied by the head of water over the length of the passage as the water flows through a sample. Since peat is very absorbent, it holds and absorbs the water very well. To better explain this, I asked the head of Wetlands/Rivers Research and Management at MIT, Dr. D.A. Eisenbeck, to more deeply explain this process. Dr. Eisenbeck, are you there?
I am Dr. D.A. Eisenbeck, Professor Emeritus at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Mr. Overton has delivered soil, water, and peat samples to my laboratory for analysis. My findings are troubling. You see, the byproduct waste being produced by Metrolina nuclear novelties is actually dissolving the vital peat levels required to retain moisture and ultimately maintain our nation's wetlands. Hydraulic conductivity is calculated for a given type of peat. The rate at which water moves through porous material itself and how much resistance it offers to flow, just how porous it happens to be, how much force is exerted upon water, and how far the water has to pass through the material, L. The force in this case is the force of gravity, expressed as the head of water, H, applied to the peat. The resistance is constant, K, for any particular material that is the hydraulic conductivity. The relationship between conductivity and flow is called Darcy's Law, after Henry Darcy, who first described it in 1856. It expressed volume of water flow equals hydraulic conductivity, K, times head of water, H, over length of passage, L. The uncompacted peats of the surface layers have a high hydraulic conductivity, so they allow free passage of water. So, to summarize, is Metrolina nuclear novelties to blame for this water loss? Absolutely, categorically, irrefutably, yes! This concludes my lecture.
Hallelujah!
The wetland that you see me standing at now is just one of the 5 affected areas in the United States. If this problem continues, it will create a chain of events with such magnitude that every living being on Earth will be affected by it. It starts here, with the death of this tiny little plant, followed by more plants, larger plants, then animals, then insects, then the animals whose diet consists of insects, then the birds, the rodents, the game, and the nature, and then the human race. Not only people who live off the economy of wetlands like Eustace and Maybell, but also as the oxygen levels decrease and poisonous levels of carbon dioxide begin to rise. To stop this, we'll need to immediately stop these factories from belching this poison to our beautiful Earth. This will take public support and government backing to immediately impose a cease and desist order against Metrolina Nuclear Novelties Incorporated. This is Kyle Overton reporting from WYTV News.